Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mass Retirees Weekly Update. Today's Friday, July 7th. I'm Sean Duhamel. Thank you so much for joining with us and tuning in. We took a little bit of a break for the Independence Day holiday last week. I hope everyone had a wonderful July 4th. I know I certainly did. It was a great time to get together with my family, see some friends, regroup as we head into what are the dog days of summer typically. However, I think all of you know that we have been very busy at Mass Retirees all the way through the holiday. Last Friday, we came out with an unexpected message relative to the additional 2% COLA, talking about the great deal of success that we have had at the local level of getting the additional COLA adopted. We had several systems, including a couple of counties, approve the COLA just last week. Look to today's email message from me that came out with this video first thing this morning. For some late-breaking information on a couple of additional municipalities that adopted the additional 2% right at the end of last week. We cannot be prouder of the work that our members, working in conjunction with local retirement board members and local elected officials, that they put in to get this additional benefit adopted and over the hump at the local level. I know it is incredibly helpful. Typically, even though inflation continues to subside, prices are higher than they were a couple of years ago. There are no doubts about that whatsoever. So every little bit helps, as they say. So even though we wish the additional benefit could go further than what it was able to do, or even continue on for future fiscal years, which at this point in time just simply isn't possible, every little bit helps, as I just said. So thank you to local retirement boards who have approved the additional 2% benefit. Several of those systems, I should say many of those systems, have also increased the COLA base over the past few years. So things continue to head in the right direction amongst the majority of our local retirement systems. However, an interesting question has surfaced in recent weeks and really over the past several months as we've been talking about this issue more and more and talking about the role of local retirement systems in approving these benefits. But the general question that we get from many retirees is simply, which retirement system do I belong to? And the first couple of times that we received the question, it was somewhat unexpected because you just assume that people know where they're retired from and where their retirement check comes from. But when you actually stop and think about it, it is a little bit confusing. In some cases, it's really a lot confusing. So I wanted to take the time today to hopefully explain a little bit without causing further confusion. And we'll see at the end of this video if you're more confused after watching it than before you watched it. But let me give this a shot. So in Massachusetts, we have 104 different retirement systems spread across the state for our public employees and our public retirees. It is all the same retirement law under Chapter 32 of the general laws. It is the governing statute that has created our public pension systems. It establishes what the benefit levels are, the processes that are used, the disability retirement system, the COLAs, everything. It's all governed under Chapter 32. We also have portability amongst all 104 systems. So what that means is if you began working for the state and you decided to take a job with a city or town, your retirement credit with the state system would automatically transfer over to that municipality here in Massachusetts, or vice versa. If you started working out in the town of Plymouth, where I grew up, and you decide, you know what, I want to go and become a state worker or go and work for another community on the South Shore, there is complete portability between all of our retirement systems. But because of that, it can be a little bit confusing as to which system you actually belong to. So let me try to simplify it. The system that you belong to is the system that you were a member of when you retired. It doesn't matter where you have happened to work previously. All that matters in terms of both your pension and your health insurance benefits as a retiree is the final job that you retired from. So to keep it simple, if you are a state worker and you retire as a state worker, you are a member of the state retirement system. So the state retirement system is all state workers, it's state police, it's correction officers, but it's also county correction officers. So if you are a retiree of the Plymouth County Sheriff's Office or the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office or the Middlesex County District Attorney's Office or the court system, you are a member of the state retirement system. Anyone who worked for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts or certain other entities, again, like county sheriffs or district attorneys' offices, you're members of the state retirement system. And what that means is that your pension comes from the state, but the cost of living adjustment is also governed by the state. So the state legislature sets the COLA benefits. They approve the COLA base. They also approve the traditional annual COLA that comes out at the start of every single fiscal year. That is typically, or almost always, included as part of the state budget. However, it gets more complicated from there. If you are a retired teacher, you are a member of the teachers' retirement system, with one exception. The City of Boston teachers are members of the City of Boston's retirement system. That's the one exception across Massachusetts with all of our public school teachers, is that every community, every school system, every school district belongs to the teachers' retirement system, other than the City of Boston, whose retired teachers and active teachers are part of the city's retirement system. And that's a policy that goes back many, many decades, maybe 100 years or more. In fact, the Boston teachers were most likely the very first public pension system in the whole country. It is the system that all of the other public retirement systems have been based upon. It's also the system that Social Security was based upon when it was created back in the 1930s. So there's a lot of tradition there, and a lot of these systems and the rules that are in place were really set in effect many, many decades ago, well before my time and probably well before any of your times as well. Again, the Boston teachers goes back to, I believe, the 1880s. So we are well beyond that point today in 2023. But under the teachers' retirement system, the state is responsible for funding and for the governance of the teachers' retirement systems. The city or town or the school system or school district that you may have retired from as a teacher, they do not play any role whatsoever in the teachers' retirement system. They don't fund it. They don't have any governance or control over it. Their teachers just happen to belong to it. So if you're a public school teacher or a superintendent, a school principal, a dean, you belong to the teachers' retirement system. The one thing I should also mention in terms of the state retirement system, people who work for higher education, including faculty, belong to the state retirement system. So if you work at UMass Amherst, or if you work down at Bridgewater State, or up in UMass Lowell or at Salem State, all of those employees are members of the state retirement system, which again is governed by the state. So at the state level, you have the state system and the teachers system. So there's two of the 104 systems. At the local level, we have 102 local retirement systems. Some of those systems are city and town systems. So with one or two exceptions, every city in Massachusetts has its own retirement system and its own retirement board. The people who participate in the municipal retirement systems, whether they be the cities or your larger towns, again, like the town of Plymouth, the town of Falmouth on Cape Cod has its own retirement system. Those public employees, your police officers, your firefighters, your public works workers, the folks working in city and town halls, all belong to the municipal retirement system, which is funded in part by that local municipal government, and it's run by the local 5-member retirement board. Now, each retirement board, again, has 5 members. The teachers board has 7, but that's a separate situation. But at the local level, you have 2 municipal officials, 2 members of the board who are elected by the members of the retirement system. So the active employees and the retirees elect 2 of their fellow members to represent them on the retirement board. Those 4 officials then appoint a 5th member to serve on the board. The 5th member of the board cannot be a member of that retirement system. So they cannot be a local employee or a local retiree who is a member of the system. They have to be independent. Those 5 individuals run and administer the local retirement board. So the annual COLA, it is the responsibility of those 5 members on that municipal retirement board to approve it. The COLA base is a combination of the retirement board along with the city council and the mayor, town meeting, the county commissioners in the county system. It depends on the retirement system, but it's a 2-step process to increase the COLA base. The additional 2% COLA, thankfully, did not require approval at town meeting. In town governments, it was just the Board of Selectmen, which was a tall enough task for us to overcome. So if you are an employee or retiree of a system that has its own or municipality that has its own retirement system, you are a member of that system. But what about our smaller towns? So throughout the South Shore, Duxbury, Hanover, Cohasset, Plimpton, Carver, on Cape Cod, every single community on Cape Cod, with the exception of the town of Falmouth, belong to the county or regional retirement system. So the Plymouth County system, the Barnstable County system, Bristol County, Worcester County, Middlesex. Every single county in Massachusetts has its own retirement system with 2 exceptions. Nantucket and Suffolk County do not have their own retirement systems. Nantucket belongs to the Barnstable County system, and Suffolk County is part of the City of Boston's retirement system. Those are the 2 exceptions to that rule. But throughout Massachusetts, the regional systems are primarily made up of the smaller towns that are in that geographical area. They're also made up of mosquito control districts or fire districts, things of that nature that are traditionally run by the county government. And this is where it gets a little bit confusing, because you may work down on Cape Cod for one of the fire districts, but you don't necessarily know that you're a member of the Barnstable County retirement system. So that's a little bit confusing. The other types of retirement systems are districts and authorities. So the MWRA, Massport, the Mass Housing Assistance Organization. Drawing a little bit of a blank. I'm sorry, Joe Petty, but I just drew a blank on your agency. All of those state agencies have their own retirement board, or authorities, not agencies, state authorities. Also districts. So the Greater Lawrence Sanitary District has its own retirement system, for instance. They're one of the smaller systems. But it gets a little bit convoluted and confusing as to exactly which system you may belong to. So what it comes down to in the end is, where did you retire from? That's where you're generating your benefits from that community through that local retirement system. It has nothing to do with where you may have lived, where you may move to, where you may have worked 30 years ago but then switched jobs and went somewhere else. All that matters at the end of the day is where your final place of employment was when you retired. Now, there are a couple of different ways for you to figure out which retirement system you're actually a member of, if you don't already know. The first way, and probably the easiest way, is every month when you get a pension check, where does it come from? If it's direct deposited, where did it come from? If you get a paper check and it comes with a check stub or a statement, what's the name on it? Is it coming from the town of Plymouth? Is it coming from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts? You can kind of figure it out from there. Also, on an annual basis, you get a 1099 from the retirement system that will have all that information on it. And you should also be getting periodic benefit verification forms that you need to get notarized, unfortunately, to prove that you're still alive. So there is correspondence and information coming from the retirement system to let you know which system that you're a member of. But you may be asking yourself, why does it even matter? Well, why it matters is when it comes to things like the COLA. We have just spent the better part of the last year working with local retirement systems to help them get the additional 2% COLA passed. We also continually work with local retirement systems to increase the COLA base. That's the role of the local systems. So it's important for you as a retiree to know who is responsible for improving your benefits or paying your benefits or approving the annual COLA. Also, which retirement system are you a member of really depends on, or at the end of the day, impacts who you vote for in retirement board elections. So all of these things are important. Now, another complication or confusing aspect of all of this is your health insurance benefits, because your health insurance is going to come from a different entity than your pension. Here in Massachusetts, the retirement system is only responsible for your pension. They have nothing to do with your health insurance benefits other than making the withholding out of your pension check. The health insurance benefits can come from different sources. And again, it depends on where you retired from. That's the governing piece of it. But if you retired from the state, you're a member of the Group Insurance Commission. That's where you get your health insurance benefits from. But we also have a few dozen municipalities that have chosen to participate in the GIC. So we have several thousand municipal retirees and active employees also getting their benefits from the GIC. At the municipal level, we also have some communities like the city of Boston that offer their own benefits and that are self-insured and offer several different insurance plans to their retirees. But we also have smaller towns that participate in joint purchasing groups. So on the South Shore, we have the Mayflower Group. On Cape Cod, we have the Cape Cod Municipal Health Group. We also have a statewide organization that you've probably heard us talk about called MIA. MIA is the health insurance division of the Mass Municipal Association. They do a great job providing insurance benefits to 150, 160 municipalities all across Massachusetts. And the benefits through MIA are exclusively Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts. That's the only carrier that they offer through the MIA joint purchasing group. So all of this gets a little bit complicated. So when it comes to your health insurance, just like your pension, there are going to be several times throughout the course of the year where you should be getting some correspondence from whomever is providing your benefits. So if something's coming from the Group Insurance Commission, you know that's the source of your benefits. If you see MIA on any of the correspondence you're getting, you know it's coming through MIA and it's a Blue Cross Blue Shield product. So that's how you can kind of keep track as to what's going on, just so you know the source of all of your benefits. So when you see videos like this or the reports from mass retirees, or you hear from your friends and family who may also be receiving benefits from different retirement systems, you may say, well, why am I not getting that? Or why did I receive it and my friend didn't? Well, it may come down to that you're members of two different retirement systems, or you retired from different places and your benefit structures are completely different. So I hope that provides a little bit of clarity as to what this is all about and how it works. The email message that's accompanying this video today provides all of this information in writing, so it might be a little bit easier to understand when you see it in writing. We'll also post that information on the Mass Retirees website. And just one more piece of information. I know this is running a bit long this week, so I apologize, and thank you to those of you who are sticking through to the end. But for any members who come to our area meetings, and our next area meeting will be in September 22nd. It's our annual meeting. It's taking place in Mansfield this year. But we do pass out retirement board directories at some of our area meetings. It's not something that we're going to mail out to people. It would be too costly to do that, to send it to tens of thousands of retirees. But it is a piece of information that for those members who attend our area meetings, it's something to put in your hands that you're able to take with you. We are also working right now to completely redesign and revamp our website, massretirees.com. Our intention is to also publish this information in the future on our website and set it up in a way that would help you being able to dig into the details of exactly where your benefits are coming from. But if you have any further questions, you can always reach out to myself or any member of our team. You send an email, give us a call. We'll be happy to try to help you work through it, to answer any questions about this or anything else. And just one last point, or really two more points. Firstly, if you have suggestions or anything that you would like me to cover in one of these videos. We're always looking for new ideas and a fresh approach to things. So please let me know, as long as it's something that's retirement related. That's always the one caveat that we require. It has to be related to your pension or your health insurance. But let me know if you have any ideas or any suggestions. And the final thing is, I just want to say thank you once again. We have a very dedicated membership. I cannot tell you from a personal standpoint of just how much I appreciate my role of working for you. I've spent nearly 30 years working for you at Mass Retirees. There's not a day that goes by that I don't love what I do, and I think I can speak for every member of our team, from Frank Valeri all the way down to everybody. We all feel exactly the same way. Most of us have been with Mass Retirees for many, many years, decades in most cases, and there's a reason for that. We really enjoy what we do, and that's working for you and being there to serve you. But be well, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the summer. Stay cool in this heat. We'll be back to you again next Friday. Take care.